eBayers, this is Suzanne and I have my February 2025 sales update video for you. As always, the purpose of these sales update videos are to show you that I am a real seller just like you, treasure hunting, listing, shipping, and this is the follow through on my sold items, which really is the most important part of reselling, focusing on what actually sold. I'll show you items that sold, the numbers I track, and items found and listed since the last sales update video. So here we go. I'm going to show you my numbers provided by eBay under the Performance tab and drop down to Sales. And remember, sales include shipping and taxes, so that number can be a little deceiving. And this is the report for February 1st through the 28th of 2025. My total sales, which includes shipping and taxes, were $3,261.58, which is slightly up over the previous time period. And I sold 77 items. So it says 0% versus prior time period because in January I think it was around 80, so not that much of a difference. And we're going to start off with my fail. Although I'm not really calling it a fail, but I bought this vintage Pose and Pepper doll on an online auction. I bought several dolls just to work with them and be able to research them and see what sells and how fast they sell and what kind of offers I would get and that kind of thing. So I paid $39.75 for this doll and it sold for $50. I took an offer. I'd had it about 6 weeks and got no attention. It never showed up in my best offer. It just wasn't moving in my store. So I bailed out, took an offer of $50. Profit was only $4.66, but I got my original investment back and learned that maybe dolls are not for me. Okay, this was a vintage tablecloth. It was lace and had a church theme. New in the package, it was $3 at a church thrift store. It sold for full asking price of $24.97. My profit was $19.32. You can see it was brand new in the package with the price sticker still on it. I love finding things like these because they're just so easy to photograph and ship. This is an American Girl robe. Now this is clothing for a small little girl. Originally, this came with the same robe for the doll, but I just found the robe and it was new with the tag. I paid $3.48. It sold for $30 on best offer, and it's like a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer themed robe, and it sold in February. So holiday items sell all year. eBay knows no seasons. Profit on this item was $22.55. This is a Lily Pulitzer embroidered linen top. I got this at a thrift store for $3.35. It sold for full asking of $29.97. Profit was $24.29. And I will say the market for Lily has dropped or tanked, as they say. I just don't get the prices I used to get on this pretty embroidered stuff. Now, if you're talking about the vintage Lily maxi dresses, yes, those are still a BOLO, but just the sort of run-of-the-mill linen embroidered tops, I used to get around 40 for these, and the market's just not there. Maybe it's just too saturated, or sellers are finding them at the bins and paying less than $1, so they're charging less. Whatever the reason, this market has definitely changed in the last few years. Okay, and this was a new brand for me. It's called Latched Mama. It's a nursing dress. I paid $3.70 for this. It sold for full asking of $29.97. Profit was $25.19. And here is some perfume. Falling in Love by Philosophy. I paid $11.75 for this at an estate sale. It sold for full asking of $39.97. And a shout out to my friend Tracy who purchased this. She saw it on the last sales update video and bought it for full price and said that this was her favorite and she was having trouble finding it. So that was the nudge she needed. So thank you very much, Tracy. Profit on this was $28.67. Okay, this was a fun find. Actually, there were two of these. So, this first one, vintage USPS jacket. It had a broken zipper and no patches, but a very nice sturdy coat with a removable zip out quilted lining. So, the jacket itself was in great condition, just the zipper was broken. I paid $13.62 for this at Goodwill. Took an offer of $46, knowing that I wasn't going to get as high of a price as I did on the other one because this was imperfect. I never like to say defective or damaged. I like to state that in a more positive way and just say imperfect. So I took an offer of $46. Profit was $30.55, and this sold in about 2 days. Now, there were some questions on this sale. I posted it on the Facebook group, Money Making Mondays, as it is a type of uniform. There are restrictions on selling law enforcement and government uniforms. However, if it is vintage, it is allowed. So if you come across any type of uniform you're thinking about selling, check the official eBay policy on selling uniforms before listing it. So this one was okay. It met the requirements. Okay, this is a pair of Ariat riding breeches. Women size 32 long. I paid $4.90 for these. They sold for full asking of $49.97, and these were also imperfect, as riding breeches do get dirty and do have worn spots, but these are very expensive pants. So my profit on this was $39, and the buyer was happy, and another imperfect item that sold for good money. This is a Wilson's leather vest, lady size large. I paid $4.90 for this. It sold on offer of $50.50, making my profit $42.66, and this was a Goodwill find. Here is an item I have never listed before, never listed anything like this. 1950s photo album. There were over 200 pictures in this. I got this at an estate sale and paid $30. It sold for $100 in about a day, and my profit was $61.86. And I just want to show you some of these photos and how I set up the listing because it was just a fun project. I really enjoyed doing this. Okay, here we are on the listing, and my title was Vintage Photo Album 1950s Cars, Swimsuits, Dresses, Beach Parties, Formals, 200 pictures. And I did not know how to price this. I just took a stab at it based on other things I had seen, but I just felt like throwing it out there and seeing what I would get. So the first thing I did was create this collage for the gallery photo, just showing all the different types of photos that were inside. And I mean, does this not scream 1950s, 1960s? I mean, look at this beautiful Cinderella type dress over here. And then you've got the girl with the cat eye glasses with a cigarette, and then this old car. And then here we have the girls at some kind of event, and the guy in the Letterman jacket in the back. And so then I created more photos showing what was inside. And the front cover was not even attached. it was just with it. So that didn't even matter. I love selling items that it doesn't matter if they're perfect. Um, they're not making these anymore, so it's okay if it's not perfect, and collectors understand. They don't really care. They're probably going to do something else with it anyway. So I just showed the inside of the photo album, and then as many pages as would fit. I used my 24 photo limit, but this is absolutely a time capsule, a slice of life with the fashion, the hairstyles, the cars. There's some beach pictures in here with the old-fashioned swimsuits, and the old cars in the background. And I'm learning that's what collectors want. They want this slice of life stuff. Maybe interested in newspaper clippings and that sort of thing, but remember, those were mass produced. Man landing on the moon, that was in every newspaper across the country. So stuff like this is more unique and more valuable because, it's just, this is somebody's photo album of their life. And I just thought these photos were fascinating. And this person went to the trouble to write the dates and what the events were underneath the photos. So this was a very organized person that was a very good historian keeping up with all this stuff. But I was thrilled to get a $100 offer on this after one day. So yeah, I took it. I just feel like going forward, I'm going to hold out a little bit more and see what kind of offers I get, because these things are out there at estate sales. And sometimes you even find them in the free box because, like, who would want a bunch of old pictures? But apparently people do. So that was an experiment that turned out well. Okay, and here is the other vintage USPS jacket. Paid $13.62 for this at Goodwill. It sold for $99.97 in less than a day. Should I price it higher? I'm happy with this. Um, I think people just look for these, and as soon as they see one, they buy it. Because it wasn't a best offer, they didn't negotiate, they just bought it. So profit on that was $77.93. And here are the guitar thingies. These were in a box of items I purchased at an estate sale, and I didn't even know they were in there, so I'm calling them free. It's the Rotomatic guitar machine, and they're just like thingies that you use on your guitar. I don't even know what they do exactly. And I'm sure someone out there listening is going to tell me. But I looked them up and they're quite pricey. And I asked a friend who plays the guitar, like, what's the deal with these? Why are these so expensive? And he says, oh, you shouldn't even try to sell those. They're very specialized and it'll probably take you years to sell them. And I said, well, that is music to my ears. Ha ha. Because the more specialized something is, the more rare it is, and the more it's worth. So this sold within a couple of days of listing, and I got my full asking price of $99.97. So go with your gut on things, and just because you don't know what something is doesn't mean you can't make money on that. We see that all the time on the Money Making Mondays. Okay, this is a pair of Freebird boots, women's, and they came with these fun insert boot shaper things you can see on the top there that are embroidered with Freebird logo. I paid $80 for these on a Facebook group. They sold for $225. My profit was $116.53. And my biggest sale of the month was these vintage Peter Max sheets. I got these at an estate sale for $16.71. This was the same estate sale where I got all that perfume that sold in December and January. That was the higher end exotic French perfumes. So whoever this person was had nice stuff in their house. These sold for $200. They're brand new in the package, even though they were vintage. My profit was $160.36. Okay, so moving on. How many items did I sell? 77. We already talked about that earlier. Compared to in January, I sold 84 items. So pretty much on the same track there. I now have 451 items in my store. In January, I had 478, so staying on track there. Dollar amount of items in store. This is something I'm going to start tracking. So it's $17,536 worth of merchandise if everything's sold for the asking price. And that compares to January 17,955. So pretty close there. One thing is I am consistent. Okay, my inventory cost of the items that sold, $368.49 compared to inventory cost in January, $522.61. Now, just to clarify, this is not the amount of money I spent on inventory. It is the cost of the items that sold. Okay, profit per item, $21.32 compared to in January, $21.89. So staying consistent there. I had 3 returns, so let's talk about what those were and the reasons for the return. The first one there is a swimsuit. She said it doesn't fit. No problem there. And what's interesting is I had bought several of these at a Goodwill. I think it was like a retail store dump because they were all new with tags. They had $94 tags on them. And the same day I received this request for a return, I also received feedback for another one of these that the lady loved it. She was like, it fits perfectly. I love it so much. So, you know, it's nothing was wrong with it, just the person didn't fit them. Okay, the next one is an Eileen Fisher sweater, and their reason for return doesn't work or defective, and pretty sure she just didn't like it and didn't want to pay to ship it back because how can a sweater not work? You just put it on. It doesn't even have any buttons or zippers or anything, any kind of fastener. You just put your arms in it and go. So how can that not work? Anyway, I have it back. It's in my store. It will sell again. And then a pair of Old Navy leggings. And I called these leggings because of the measurement of the inseam, but the person who received them must have had very long legs because she said, oh, these are capris. These are not leggings because they didn't go all the way down to her ankles. So she did an item not as described, but this is why I put measurements in my listings, but if they don't check them, nothing I can do about it. Not a problem. An INAD is not a problem as long as you deal with it and handle it. So customers are going to do this, and she sent them back, and I refunded her, and we went our separate ways. Okay, I listed 221 items in February, and that was 145 refreshed listings where I ended them and restarted them and changed some things, and 76 items that I listed that had never been there before. Now, let's get into items that I purchased and listed. And you can follow my store, Atlanta Golf Shop, if you want to check in and see what I am up to. Just click the little heart by Save Seller, and my store will go into your saved sellers under the My eBay tab. And you can do this for any seller that you want to watch and follow. Okay, my main project for March has been horse ribbons. I did a private pick from the estate of a famous Kentucky horsewoman and ended up with about 450 of her show ribbons. And it was just unbelievable that her family did not want them. So far, I have listed 35 lots with 10 ribbons in each lot. And this has really been a fun project. When I received the ribbons, they were just a big, jumbled, wadded up mess. So I've been ironing them and creating these beautiful, colorful lots. So far, I have sold 25 lots, so they are moving along quickly. And I will update you more on this next month as far as how many have sold and where they went because they're going all over the world. So, really a fun project. Okay, this is a zodiac needlepoint. It could be a wall hanging or a pillow cover. It's just the fabric with the needlepoint on it. And this was $15 at an estate sale. I have it priced at $124.97 because this is definitely mid-century modern and zodiac stuff was really hot back then. So we'll see where that goes. This is another mid-century modern, but it is crewel needlework. And this actually came with the original paperwork, so I knew which Busilla pattern it was, but it is finished and it could be a pillow cover or a wall hanging. And this was $15. I paid up for this pair of Coogie jeans, very Y2K, with uh, a Joker and the king on the back pockets. And I did find this exact pair out on the internet. So I have it priced at $124.97. I did receive an $80 offer as soon as I listed them, but I'm going to hold out and see where this goes. This is a set of Conair Hot Sticks Hair Setter Curlers. These were $12 at an estate sale, and I have them priced at $34.97. I've got some more perfume, and on this one, I'm trying a different method, selling all these itty bitties in a lot. So you can see there's 6 different ones there, and these cost $41 total, but I have them priced at right at $110 because that is the going rate. So if they're still there in a few months, I'll break them out and do them separately. But I want to try the Hail Mary on that and just see if somebody would buy all of them together. Okay, these dance costumes were on a Facebook group. And if any of you have ever had a child in dance, you know how expensive this stuff is. Uh, Anything with the sequins and the tulle and whether it's ice skating or dance or whatever, these things are not cheap. So I did pay $20 for this costume. I have it priced at $70 and there were 2 of them. And then this one I also paid $20 for. It's not quite as glitzy and sparkly as the other one, so I put 50 on that one. And then here's another one that was in that lot. It was a mom selling off her daughter's dance costumes. So $20 for this one, and I have it priced at 40. And I found a BOLO. This comes from the 2021 BOLO book, the Tupperware iconic white hourglass style salt and pepper shakers. These were $6 at a thrift store. I have them priced at $39.97. And let me go back to this image from the 2021 BOLO book. It shows the price as $75. Well, that's what it was going for back then. And this is an up and down market, collectibles. I don't think I'm going to get 75 for it now, but Tupperware filed for Chapter 11 in September of 2024, so who knows if their products are going to go up in value, especially the vintage ones. So we'll just see how that shapes up. But anyway, $6 if I can sell it for 35 to 40, that's still a great flip. Okay, and this is an Ultra Chi Love Flat Iron Hair Straightener. This was $12 at an estate sale, and I've got it priced at $32.97. Okay, now I did another bulk buy on a large lot of burlap coffee sacks. The owner was in the coffee business, and these bags are from a bunch of different countries. So I've seen Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, Peru, Indonesia, and there are duplicates of some, so I'm setting up listings and adding to the quantity as I go through these. They came out to be $4.50 each, and I love this type of item because I just get a whole bunch of them and sell them off over time. It's okay if it takes 2 years for them to sell. It's not a problem. I did this with the swim goggles and the horse ribbons, and I just like having items where I can buy, do a bulk buy and sell them off over time, especially if there's duplicates because you just do a quantity and you just keep selling until that quantity is sold out. Now you're wondering, how am I pricing these? So I'm putting $20 on most of them. That's the going rate. These are so easy to photograph, store, and ship, and some have really cool designs on them. So this makes great decor for a rustic farmhouse look, which is very trendy right now, just hanging them on the wall in a restaurant or a coffee shop. So this is actually a repurposed item that is used for decor. And it's not something you're going to see every day out in the wild, which is what I look for in these bulk buys. I love that fun tiki man there on top. So we'll see how it goes selling them as singles, and I'll give it some time. I may end up putting them in lots. You just have to try different things and see what sticks. And the issue with lots is you can't make them too big because these burlap bags are like 2 pounds each. So that could make shipping them cost prohibitive. So that's why I started off with singles just to see how that goes. And of course, I'll do a shipping discount if someone buys multiples, but to put 10 together would be a very heavy item. It would cost a lot to ship it, and it would be sort of a pain for me to have to to pack up a heavy item like that. But this is another BOLO that I always look for, and this was in my 2022 BOLO book, Vintage Burlap Bags. And of course, the price all depends on the ad, the age of the sack, what's on there, but it can be a high profit item. And if you aren't aware, crafters repurpose burlap sacks. Here are a few of the things they do: tote bags and purses. Burlap makes for a very durable material, so perfect for making tote bags that are going to get thrown around and slung around and carried everywhere. Planters of all kinds. Here's a fun one with several different pouches for herbs. And then a great big one, they just stuck a plant down in there. And I like the little rolly thing on the bottom where you can move it around. Has nothing to do with the burlap bag. I just noticed that. So that looks pretty cool. And then there is fun holiday decor or just sparkly decor for your porch or deck or wherever. This person put string lights inside of some burlap bags. People make window treatments out of them. It's a very rustic look. And this person actually covered their ceiling with burlap bags, coffee bags. So I wonder if this is a back porch or man cave or whatever, but that looks pretty cool. And then we have a coffee bar where they framed a burlap bag, as well as a more fancy coffee bar where they actually put these burlap bags on like canvas and hung them on the wall. So that looks very cool. But yes, I did make a bulk buy on these coffee bags and am listing them. So we will see where that goes. Okay, that's what I've been up to. I'm very happy with how February went and am continuing to delve into different kinds of products and experiment with different things. Some are wins, some are not, but that's part of the business. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope you have a great day on eBay. Bye for now.